Good evening, everyone. Legislative Day 13 will now come to order. I'd ask you to please pause for a moment of silent meditation. Thank you. We want to begin tonight by welcoming NASA astronaut and Artemis II Commander Reed Wiseman, who is joining us virtually from Houston. There he is on the screen. Commander Wiseman, we are so glad you're here, and we would be very honored if you could lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance tonight, if you would.
I would love that. First, let's make sure you can hear me okay. Can you hear me all right?
We can hear you perfectly.
All right. At least if I can't be there in person, I'm there in cardboard format. Let us begin here. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, sir. Okay. So we're taking things a bit out of order because it's not often that we get to have a national, in fact, global hero join us in this, in our historic council chamber. Once again, we wanted to welcome NASA Commander Reed Wiseman. As anyone on the planet is probably aware, Reed is a native of Baltimore County. He grew up in Cockeysville, and he is a class of '93 graduate of Delaney High School. Go Lions. Reed was raised by two great parents, and we are honored to have his dad, Bill Wiseman, here with us today. To join the celebration. So before being selected to NASA's astronaut program in 2009, Reed graduated from Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, earned a master's degree from Johns Hopkins, and had a distinguished career as a naval aviator, including as a test pilot right here in Maryland at the Pax River Naval Air Station. As an astronaut, Reed was part of Expedition 4041, the 4041 crew to the International Space Station from May through November of 2014. In 2023, Reed was selected as the commander of the Artemis II mission. In April, Commander Wiseman and his crew of pilot Victor Glover, Michelin's mission specialist Christina Cook, and Michelin specialist Jeremy Hansen completed a 10-day lunar flyby mission. This mission also set the current record for the human distance from Earth during that flyby around the moon. No one until this crew had ever been to the dark side of the moon, and now we have. So all of us were so taken by the excitement of the Artemis II mission, the updates they gave us from space, and the genuine camaraderie the astronauts have shown for one another. It has taught us a great lesson about working together for a common goal. I was also proud and frankly relieved when I saw the Orion spacecraft come down from the heavens and safely splash down on the coast of San Diego. It was just surreal. So thank you so much for being here, Commander Reed. And we'd love you to give us some comments and tell us all about your trip.
Oh, if you want me to tell you all about my trip, we're going to need 2 or 3 sessions here. I know it's late at night up there in Baltimore. First, it's great to know that my dad is there in the audience. I don't see him on the screen, but I know he's there. And he's kind of back in a place that means a lot to him. It's a place that chamber you're in right now means a lot to me. I worked at the 911 call center when I was between my freshman and sophomore year as a college student. Before that, I mowed lawns. I don't know if I mowed any of your lawns, but there's a high chance I mowed one of your lawns at some point. Um, and then I did want to highlight that written on the wall behind you is just a great phrase: "Equality and liberty under law is the foundation of a government of free people." And I love that you sit there under that and look at that every time you gather in that chamber. The more I have lived this life, I'm 50 years old, the more I've realized that it does take true leadership. It takes commitment from the people, and it takes a very strong government to set objectives, to set a vision, and to set goals for this nation. And this nation sets those goals for the whole world. So what you're doing here really matters, and I appreciate getting to talk to you. Um, I was proud that you highlighted my crew: Victor Glover, Christina Cook, Jeremy Hansen. You actually misspoke and said Michelin specialist Jeremy Hansen, and I thought of Michelin star restaurants, and it was actually quite fitting because Jeremy, this was his first flight, and you couldn't tell. He just hit the ground running hard when we were up there, and the second night we were in space was really the first time we got to eat a meal, and he was taking that famous Nutella and spreading it on tortillas that we had, and he was cutting them up and handing them out, floating them over to us, and he kind of was our culinary specialist up there, so he provided a lot of good food. But that mission, the United States has gone around the moon in 1968. We landed on the moon in 69, 70, 71, and 72. Those are just unbelievable technical accomplishments. And so when we set out on this mission, we were going to be the first crew to ride in Orion and to head out further than humans have ever been. But really, it was a test mission to get us ready to get back into the game of expanding human civilization out on the lunar surface and one day to Mars, hopefully sooner rather than later. But geez, we've been talking about Mars for 50 years now. We still haven't gotten humans out there. It is hard. But the really important thing for me on this mission was to try to connect with all of humanity on Earth. Our mission is Artemis 2, but on our patch, we made it look like all, ALL, Artemis 2, because we really wanted to go for all and by all. And I think that's where the equality on the wall behind you really matters to me. We had people that have never been. Victor Glover is an African-American. Christina Cook's a really accomplished woman engineer and astronaut. And Jeremy Hansen's the first international person to get a chance to go out to the far side of the moon. None of that stuff mattered to us. We were accomplished astronauts. Christina spent a year on the space station. Victor and I both spent 6 months on the space station, and Jeremy was a rookie. But it was important that the four of us just showed collaboration, extreme effort, and going out and doing the job as professionally and as excellently as we possibly could. And then the thing that really surprised us, we didn't really know on the first few days, but the world actually tuned in. And I give a lot of credit to people that sometimes I badmouth, the content creators on TikTok and Instagram. They really turned to, and they got the younger generation really motivated about this mission. And on the 7th day of the flight, I got a chance to talk to my two daughters, Ellie and Katie, over a video chat. They were actually sitting in the room I'm in right now while I was talking to them from, at that point, we were still about 180,000 miles away, and we were coming home. And I lost my wife in 2020 to cancer. That story is definitely a tragedy in my life. And I didn't really want to leave my kids and go do this. I made my dad cry the day before I launched. I know he was scared, and I know my two daughters were scared too. But on that 7th day of that mission, I did that video chat with them, and it was the first time they understood why this was important and worth the risk. They had really seen how important this mission was for the whole world. The world needed something to cheer for right now, something to prove that we all can still come together. We can all come together and do great things. And that is, man, that is the biggest gift that the world could have given back to the crew for going and doing this. And even if that excitement wanes and it falls apart over the next 6 months, I just know in my heart that the world still has it in it. The United States of America still has it in it. We can go out and do great things, and we can come together and absolutely kick butt all around the world. And that is really important for us all to remember, and for our kids to get to see and to witness and be a part of. And now every one of our kids that walks out there at night and looks at the moon, it was a beautiful moon 2 nights ago here in Texas, but every kid that walks out and looks at that moon right now knows that people have been out there. And I think that's extremely powerful, and that creates a whole generation of dreamers. And we haven't had that in a while. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions. I could go on forever, but it's just so cool to get to see you all. And I should be up there in August, or maybe I'm trying to delay that a little bit so that schools are open and I can see some of the school kids. So maybe September, but I definitely feel in my heart that I'm sad that I haven't been up to Baltimore since we got home, and I'm going to correct that as soon as I possibly can.
Well, you're with us in spirit. So if, I know some of my colleagues might have some remarks and questions. Councilman Marks.
Very much. That on? There you go. Thank you very much. Mr. Wiseman, I'm Councilman David Marks, and I had the honor of meeting you about 10 years ago after the conclusion of the International Space Station. And you were 2 years younger than me. So I was born in 1973 and you're 1975. And so I think we both grew up, with the space shuttle program and thinking that there'd be a lunar base by the 1990s and Mars shortly after. But you are right. NASA is soaring once again, and the Mars is within our target. And people like you are giving inspiration to the next generation of NASA astronauts and engineers. You're a true hero for Baltimore County, you and your colleagues, all of your colleagues. And I just want to thank you for all that you're doing to inspire the next generation of scientists and engineers and astronauts.
David, thank you very much for those words. And right on my jewelry chest in my closet, I keep the Baltimore County hero pin that you all gave me during that ceremony. And I look at that thing every single morning when I get dressed and remember my roots. It's important for me.
Very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Councilman Marks.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Councilman Jones.
Yes, Commander Wiseman, I just want to thank you so much for all you have done for this great nation. But also, I just want to remind you that having come from Baltimore County Public Schools, you are truly an inspiration to the 110,000 students that we have here at Baltimore County Public Schools, and every kid from this day forward who comes to Baltimore County Public Schools will know that they can reach tremendous heights such as yourself. So thank you so much for being an inspiration for all of our kids.
Thank you for those words. And that really means a lot to us. We were in speaking to all the Senate staffers a few weeks ago on Capitol Hill. And one person stood up and asked, what is the importance of the educators? I think they're the unsung heroes of our nation for sure. But it was a neat moment when I was able to look over at my crew and ask who all went to public school, and all four of us were educated in public schools in Canada, California, North Carolina, and in Maryland. And I think that's a great testament that it doesn't take privilege, it doesn't take money, it just takes perseverance and hard work, and you can achieve what you want.
Thank you.
Councilman Crandall.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Commander Wiseman, it is a real honor to speak with you. I can tell you that there are very few council meetings that everyone gets excited for, and this is one of them. I was with Councilman Marks several years ago, and with then Councilwoman Allman, meeting you in the courthouse and getting a chance to listen to you after the space shuttle program. I think, were you the last flight?
I actually rode on a Russian Soyuz. I flew after the space shuttle program ended in.
I'm sorry,
it was 2014.
That's right. Okay. Yeah. ISS you were on. Right. So I'm not going to ask you the questions that I was asked to ask you because you've answered them 1,000 times. How do you go to bathroom in space? What is the food like? Are there evidence of intelligent alien life on the dark side of the moon? I'm not going to ask you any of those things, but I will ask you, since we are kind of focused on the inspiration that you provided to so many of all ages, but certainly our young people. And I really like the comment that you made that when young people who are aware of Artemis 2 look at the moon, that they are now able to dream that they might be able to go there someday. Can you talk about the culture of NASA and I know there's some very young people that are in the astronaut queue, I guess, to say, but I know that you're mentoring young people that are already in the NASA program. Can you talk about that culture and now how NASA cultivates young people into potentially roles like yours?
Wow, that's a pretty deep question. I would say in the astronaut office, probably the youngest astronauts are in their late 20s, early 30s, and they all come from established careers. When we're cultivating them, I think the thing we're most trying to do is we actually try to learn from them, but we also are trying to train them a little bit of our culture, get them out put them into extremely difficult scenarios, whether it's flying jets or going out and living off the land for 14 days in a small group in really challenging environments, living under the sea. Just put them in all these different environments where they start to realize that they can be comfortable in all these different places and they can be good teammates. I think that's the biggest thing there. For the younger generation of people, things, I don't even know how to answer that. Things change so much over time. Like when I was a young man, you went into a job and you stayed there for your career and you worked your way up the ladder and eventually you became like a leader in the organization. Like that was the standard approach. And I just think that is foreign these days. I think the younger generation is just so tied to mission and vision and making sure their values and the company's values that they work in align. And I see it much more of a values-based system right now. And I see when those values are out of alignment with the young folks, they jump to a different company, they go do different work, or they run off on their own and start to become creative. So to me, my focus in the astronaut office when I ran it from 2020 to 2022 was to try to blend these cultures. So we have just hired you into our program and we want to learn as much from you as you're going to learn from us. And I think that I tried to do the same thing on my crew. I didn't try to lead with an iron fist. I tried to lead by learning from my three really accomplished crewmates. And I think that came through in the way we presented the mission out to the general public.
Councilman Patoka.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Reed. You're just a hero for all of us here in Baltimore County. So at this time when there's a lot of chaos going on this planet, I think everyone paused for a minute to watch you and the other astronauts soar around the moon, and you brought us all together for a couple of days. And yeah, I thought Todd was going to clap because you've even brought this council together because we don't always agree on everything, and it's election year, so sometimes we're really harsh on one another. But I know I represent 120,000 people of the billions around the earth, and I can say that the area I represent is really proud of you, and I want to thank you. And I do have one question for you. So you spent 7 days in close quarters. And I was just curious, did you guys tell each other any jokes? And if so, what was one of the best jokes, if you could share it with us?
We all have a pretty good sense of humor. I'm not good at telling jokes. My dad's old best friend, this guy, Jack Maxwell, like that guy could just tell a joke. I don't tell jokes, but I can sense a humorous situation and I know how to throw out a one-liner in there. But Jeremy Hansen, our Canadian astronaut, that man is the funniest human being I've ever met. So we did not tell jokes, but I will tell you for sure, if you just watch the video, there's 100 different times where we're laughing so hard we are crying, and tears in space don't run down your face because there's no gravity to pull them down, so they just well up in your eyes. But we had some problems with our food system, especially our water, the way we filled up our water system, and Jeremy kept messing up when he was filling up these bags and they would blow up and he would just have like this cloud of water around him. And after the 8th or 9th one, he was just sitting there and he's like, man, I hope somebody else will blow up one of these bags because it's so embarrassing. And like 30 minutes later, Victor Glover totally on accident blew up one of these bags. And man, we laughed about that for a solid 15 minutes. And then, humor is so important to diffuse or to have some togetherness, because at the end of the day, I like that you highlighted differences. Differences are really important. Talking through differences are really important. And if you can come together and laugh for just a minute, I think that can build a bond between people. And we use laughter. We were so close for 10 days. We were constantly in physical contact. And laughter was a big part. Music was a big part. Laughter was a big part. And then we said, we gave each other just a tremendous amount of grace. I knew for sure they were not out to get me, and they knew that I was not out to get them. So if we were annoying each other, we just talked through it real quick and got to the bottom of it. And there was some friction, but there wasn't much.
Well, thank you. Councilman Marks told me that you guys had a replicator on there, but I think he was pulling my leg.
He was pulling your leg.
Thank you, Reed.
Okay, Councilman Young, I think you had
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
final comments for us.
Good to be last. Thank you, Commander Weissman, and thank you for joining us today. I will say that the inspiration that you all hoped that you would be to a younger generation is real. Did have the opportunity for my 6-year-old and my 10-year-old One, there's so many videos that were made about the liftoff. And from that moment, there was questions before we'd read stories at night about where are they? How close are they? Are they coming home yet? They knew that we would be here tonight, and I do have one question from my son. He did ask, when did you know you wanted to be, did you know you wanted to be an astronaut, or when did you know that that was what you were going to do, or at least go into that field?
That's a good question. And I think my dad is there. He could probably answer this more truthfully than I could, but it's just a series of events for me. I grew up near the quarry, up north of the city. There's a big quarry up towards Pennsylvania. It used to be called Campbell's and then Genstar. I don't know what it's called now. But trains every night, freight trains would go in and out of that quarry, and we would hear their whistles. And my dad would throw me in his car. We would drive down and sit on the side of the train tracks, and I would watch those trains come in and out. Martin State was nearby. They used to fly A-10s out of there. I know they don't fly out of there anymore, but I would watch those A-10 Warthogs come over, and I would just dream about being up there in the sky. And then Naval Academy is close by, and watching the Blue Angels fly down there. My brother went to the Naval Academy. That really got me into the Navy and aviation. And then off to college to study engineering. And then when I graduated from college, I really wanted to be in the military. I really wanted to serve either in the Air Force or the Navy. And I went into the Navy, and flying for me was interesting. It wasn't something that I had to do every day of my life. There's some pilots that if they're not in the air, they just get grumpy. But it was something it was a natural fit. I just understood it. I understood the world I was in. So I started flying, became a test pilot, and I really liked the technical side of flying down there at Patuxent River Naval Air Station on the Chesapeake Bay, beautiful place. And from there, that was kind of the last check in the block to become an astronaut. And so I wouldn't say that I necessarily always thought I was going to do that, but it was always in my mind. I also was a student at Warren Elementary when Challenger exploded on liftoff, and Kristen McAuliffe was on there. And I remember all of us gathering around the TV that night when President Reagan talked about these 7 brave heroes, and that had a huge impact on me. The 747 with the shuttle on it flew over Towson one year, and my parents took me to see that, and that had a huge impact. So all these little things, like, that's why to me, it matters so much that people go out and do daring things and remind the world that we as humanity can go do these things. It was no singular event for me. It was just the culmination of a whole bunch of things, people that motivated me, people that mentored me, and that is how I got there. Sorry, that was a long answer, but that was the best I could do.
No, I will, and thank you. And I'll make sure that if my son's not watching, which he doesn't normally watch proceedings of the county council, but I'll make sure that I'll play it for him later. Thank you for your bravery. Thank you for your service. Semper Fi. And the last thing was, I just wanted to make sure that you knew that in terms of tragedy, making a dedication to your wife made so many book girlies on Book Talk. You made their dreams come true when you did that. And I think we just wanted to make sure that you knew that. My wife is an avid reader, and wanted to make sure that you knew that inspiration, not only for your bravery of being on the mission, but also the dedication to your wife is something that resonates throughout the entire nation. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Hey, Commander Reed, we have, Mr. Secretary, we have a council proclamation from all council members to present to Commander Wiseman. Please make the presentation, Mr. Secretary.
With pleasure. With pleasure, Mr. Chairman and members of the council and everyone that is here this evening. We do have a council resolution. I don't know if you can see it, Reed, but here it is.
Thank you.
And I can't do justice to what you have said and the council members have said, but I will do my best to articulate their resolution to you. This is a resolution of the Baltimore County Council honoring NASA astronaut G. Reed Wiseman and celebrating his and the entire Artemis II crew's wonderful and momentous accomplishments in space. Whereas Reed Wiseman's story is well known, born in Baltimore, raised in Baltimore County by 2 great parents, Bill and Judy. And whereas he graduated from Delaney High School in 1993, do we have any Lions here? And if so, can you be acknowledged? All right. And he was designated a naval aviator in 1999, served 5 deployments in Iraq and Afghanistan, including Iraq and Afghanistan, was assigned a test pilot in 2004 and stationed at Pax River. And whereas he was selected for NASA's astronaut program in 2009, was part of the Expedition 4041 crew to the ISS in 2014, and was selected as commander of the Artemis II mission that completed the lunar mission that Chairman Ertel mentioned. And whereas during his tenure as an astronaut with NASA and his journey to the International Space Station and as commander of Artemis II, Reed has never forgotten his local Baltimore County roots, often giving shout outs to Delaney High students and faculty, rooting on his favorite local sports teams, and being a wonderful ambassador for Baltimore County and showcasing his hometown to the world. And whereas in anticipation of the upcoming 250th anniversary celebration of the founding of our great nation, and with the incredible success of the Artemis II crew of Commander Reed Wiseman, pilot Victor Glover, mission specialist Christina Cook, and mission specialist Jeremy Hansen forging a new frontier in space exploration, the County Council believes it is also an appropriate time to officially recognize the magnitude of Reed Wiseman's achievements. So now, therefore, be it resolved by the County Council of Baltimore County, Maryland, that the council hereby honors NASA astronaut Reed Wiseman and celebrates his and the entire Artemis II crew's wonderful and momentous accomplishments in space. Thank you very much. So, Bill, we're going to need you to come up. One, so your son can see you. And two, so I can give this to somebody.
Son, and it was a pleasure to be here and listen to each of you ask him questions. Reed, thank you for appearing in front of this group. I'm a product of Baltimore County. I worked here. Reed, as he indicated before, started his apprenticeship in the 911 center when it was still under the fountain out there. And what little people know, there's been a lot of press and a lot of things. The day that Reed launched off on April 1st was the same day his mom died. And I think she sat on his shoulder. I honestly do. But that made everything all the more difficult, given your greatest loved one is going up around the moon and further away from Earth than anybody else. Thank God he's back. And Steve Shaw has been great with Delaney High School, having functions there, and I'm sure we'll have more. But right now, the county executive, the county council, I thank you very much. I think David Marks was the only councilman when I served as zoning commissioner, but I know he was a great scout leader, and I'd see him on the NCR trail from time to time. It was always a pleasure. So without taking up too much time, Mr. Boswick, thank you very much for putting things together.
And Mr. Wiseman, before you go, we are also honored to be joined by our county executive, Kathy Klausmeyer, to present an executive citation. And welcome, Madam County Executive. The floor is yours. What?
I just want to say congratulations, I think everyone has said everything that I was sitting there thinking about. But I did think about you last night when I looked outside and saw the full moon, so. But I didn't see you, so, you know. No, but I just want to thank you and thank the whole crew for everything you've done. And I'm going to ask your father to hold this for me for a minute,
Yes.
and I will read this. Oh. And you have to have swag, right?
Always got to have swag.
You got 2 hats and 2 pins for the 250, Baltimore County 250. But anyway, in recognition of successfully commanding the Artemis II lunar flyby mission as the commander of Artemis II, you safely led your crew further from the Earth than any other human and previously traveled, and in doing so captured the attention, imagination, and wonder of the world. Through your storied career, you have served with great honor and distinction, and your achievements serve as an extraordinary example for all. On behalf of the residents of Baltimore County, I thank you for your dedicated service to our nation and community, and I wish you all the best in the years to come. Now, there's 2 things I want to say. One of the things that I thought so much of you was the week before when you all landed, I guess in Florida, and you all got out of that, whatever, the bus or whatever, and you must have just said, "We can't wait." And it just filled my heart. It was just so great. And I just thought, I'm watching this all the way through. So thank you. But one other thing, I don't know if you have lottery down there or not. We number our citations and proclamations, and this is 1342, just in case you need that number. Just in case. You as well. So here it is. And in honor of Baltimore County being so proud of you, we have a Baltimore County flag for you for when you get up this way, and one for your dad too. So,
Well, thank you.
okay. So we're putting you in charge.
Thank you, County Executive.
Okay. Okay.
Let's go down. Let's go down.
Okay. Who should we take? Okay.
Mr. Wiseman. Or let's get my gift sign. So proud.
That's the closest we can get right now, Reed, to the real thing.
No, I love it. I wish you could just feel how much pride I had that my dad is there with you all. It's so great for me to be watching this.
I agree with you.
I don't know if
Thank
I
you
get
all
any
very
more-
much. Thank you, Madam County Executive and council members. Thank you, Bill, for being here. Bill and I worked in the law office for a number of years in the early 2000s. He was there before I was, and then he was my boss when I was deputy zoning commissioner in the late 2000s. And so Bill's been really something of a mentor to me. So I'm maybe second to Reed. I couldn't be happier and more proud that he's here as well. So thanks.
Okay, so before we conclude this celebration, we also have Resolution 1826 that will be read and introduced. And I believe, Mr. Secretary, the proclamation you read was basically the resolution.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this is really a formality so that this will be in the county council record for until the end of time, frankly. So this is resolution
1826.
1826, sponsored by all council members, a celebration of Reed Wiseman and the Artemis II journey around the moon.
Is there a motion to approve Resolution 1826?
So move.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Resolution 1826.
Mr. Ertel,
Aye.
Mr. Marks,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall,
Aye.
Mr. Young,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka,
Aye.
Mr. Jones.
Aye.
Okay, Resolution 1826 is unanimously passed and will be entered into the log of Baltimore County. Commander Reed, if you wanted to say any parting words before we let you go. I know you're busy and.
Thank you. I want to say thank you all for taking time to do this. I know you're busy, and it does mean a lot to me to be recognized by Baltimore County. Sometimes you got to leave the place where you're from to realize the beauty in it. And I didn't realize how beautiful Cockeysville, Hunt Valley, Towson, Timonium. I didn't realize the beauty there until I went to college and came back. And then for sure, I didn't realize the beauty of the earth until I left it and came back. And sometimes you got to step away for a minute. I think that's true of just about everything in life. And then I want to close by just recognizing Steve Shaw, since I heard he's there. I thought he was going to show up, but we talk a lot about heroes and courage, and it does take some courage to jump on a rocket ship. But it takes a hell of a lot of courage to teach kids for as long as he has and to stay motivated. And if you are looking around and you want to honor a hero in Baltimore County, I would look no further than that man. He embodies everything that we should all strive to be. So, Steve, thank you for being there. For everyone else, thank you for showing up and for taking the time. And with that, I will go on mute and wish you all a great Monday night.
Okay, well, thank you, Commander Reed. We look forward to seeing where your next adventure takes you and wish you safe travels to, I dare say, Mars. Thank you again.
Thank you all very much. Have a great night.
All right. Thank you, sir. Okay, we will now continue with our regular business. Is there a motion to approve the journal for the meeting of May 21st, 2026?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and all in favor?
Aye.
Journal is approved. Next is enrollment of bills. A lot of them. Bills 3826, 4026, 4226, 4326, 4426, 4526, 4626, 4726. We could have probably put all these together. 4826, 4926, 5026, 5126, 5326, 5426, 5526, and 5626. This sounds like Councilman Marks' CZMP agenda. Were passed by the council, signed by the executive, and hereby are enrolled. Bills 4126 and 5226 were also passed by the council and are hereby enrolled. Mr. Secretary, will you now read all bills for introduction?
Certainly, Mr. Chair. We only have one bill for introduction this evening, Bill 67-26, sponsored by the chairman, entitled Zoning Regulations, Uses Permitted in the DR 5.5 Zone Event Venue.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Secretary. I know we will now consider two appointment confirmations. Mr. Secretary, first item, please.
Yes, we have the council's consideration of the nomination by the county executive for the reappointment to the Police Accountability Board of Ms. Renee M. Strebe.
Councilman Marks, did you want to say a quick few words?
Of course. Ms. Strebe is a current member of the board. She has been active in the Women's Club of Perry Hall and very active in the White Marsh Police Community Relations Council, where she served with distinction. and I'd like to motion that we support her reappointment to the Police Accountability Board.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on the reappointment of Mrs. Streb.
Mr. Ertel,
Aye.
Mr. Marks,
Aye.
Mr. Young,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka,
Aye.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall.
Aye.
Okay, the reappointment is confirmed. Congratulations, Ms. Streb. You're online with us. Thank you for being here tonight. Next up, we have a reappointment also to the Police Accountability Board. Mr. Secretary.
Yes, Mr. Peter J. Fitzpatrick, this is a reappointment nominated by the county executive for the council's confirmation.
He's online. Mr. Fitzpatrick, if you wanted to say anything, any few brief comments for us? There you are.
So, how's it going? Let's keep it brief. Thank you for consideration. I think this is my third time before the council, the second time before this group on the council. Been honored to serve. The work continues on the PAB and continues to develop. I've come before you in the past to ask that the council consider providing independent counsel to the PAB, and we'll continue to reiterate that request now. As pleased as I am to serve, would always like to see more diversity on the PAB if we could. For example, we currently don't have a Latino representative on the council, and that's a big portion of our population that's been over-policed in the past and certainly in the recent year. But I thank you for your consideration, and it's a tough act to follow an astronaut, but do my best here.
Thank you, Mr. Fitzpatrick. Councilman Young, I know he wanted to say a quick few words.
And just wanted to reiterate what I had said at the last meeting as well. Mr. Fitzpatrick has been integrally involved with the PAB from its inception, and even prior to that, in its creation, has been a value added to the board itself. And one, his conversations as well as his personal advocacy on making it a body that represents everyone across Baltimore County is one, necessary and needed, and appreciate his willingness to continue to serve. And with that, I would move that we support his reappointment.
Okay, do you want a motion?
Motion to appoint.
I'll second it. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on the reappointment of Mr. Fitzpatrick.
Mr. Ertel,
Aye.
Mr. Young,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka,
Aye.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
Mr. Marks,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall.
Aye.
Okay, reappointment is confirmed. Congratulations, Mr. Fitzpatrick. We appreciate you being willing to continue to serve and look forward to seeing you some more. Thank you. Okay, we will now move on to final reading and vote of bills. Mr. Secretary, first item.
First is Bill 39-26, Personnel Law of Baltimore County.
Okay, and I know Ms. Coleman testified at our work session, and I believe there is an amendment on this bill. Mr. Secretary, did you want to
There is.
read the amendment?
The amendment is offered by Councilman Ertel, and the amendment, there's really two things. One is it strikes just several values or amounts in a couple of places in the bill related to on page 3 in lines 28 and 29, as well as on page 5 in lines 28 and 29. It essentially strikes the same language and replaces it with updated language. And then the final amendment would be to strike section 7 of the bill, I believe is on the last page, and also the application language also on that page. So it would strike section 7 from the bill.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the amendment?
Motion to approve the amendment.
Okay, I'll second it. Mr. Secretary, can you call the roll on the amendment to Bill 3926, please?
Mr. Ertel,
Aye.
Mr. Young. Mr. Jones.
Aye.
Mr. Marks.
Aye.
Mr. Crandall.
Aye.
Mr. Patoka.
Aye.
Okay, the amendments pass. Are there any questions or comments from the members on Bill 3926 as amended?
Move the bills amended.
Okay, I'll second it. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Bill 3926 as amended.
Mr. Ertel.
Aye.
Mr. Young.
Aye.
Mr. Jones.
Aye.
Mr. Marks.
Aye.
Mr. Crandall.
Aye.
Mr. Patoka.
Aye.
Okay, Bill 3926 as amended is passed. Mr. Secretary, next bill, please.
Next is Bill 5726, current expense budget, Fire Department.
Okay, and I know Chief Dixon is here and he testified at the last work session. Are there any questions or comments from the members on the bill? Is there a motion to approve Bill 5726?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Bill 5726.
Mr. Ertel.
Aye.
Mr. Marks.
Aye.
Mr. Crandall.
Aye.
Mr. Young.
Aye.
Mr. Patoka.
Aye.
Mr. Jones.
Aye.
Okay, Bill 5726 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next bill, please.
Bill 58.
Thank you, Chief.
Bill 58-26, current expense budget, local share, private pre-K.
Okay, and I know Mr. Reed testified at the work session on this bill. Are there any questions or comments from the members on Bill 5826?
Sir,
Is there a motion to approve?
I'll move it.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Bill 5826.
Mr. Ertel.
Aye.
Mr. Crandall.
Aye.
Mr. Young.
Aye.
Mr. Patoka.
Aye.
Mr. Jones.
Aye.
Mr. Marks.
Aye.
Okay, Bill 5826 is passed. Next bill, Mr. Secretary.
Bill 59-26, current expense budget, housing choice voucher program.
Okay, and I know Ms. Kenyatta Green testified at the work session. Are there any questions or comments from the members for Ms. Green? If not, is there a motion to approve Bill 5926?
I'll move it.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Councilman.
before you go for a second there, is Mr. Hickey or someone from HDA,
Ms. Green is here.
Ms. Green? I'm sorry, Ms. Green, just a quick question that we have.
It's like-
Hi, Ms. Green. Good evening. I just wanted to verify. I know that you were really clear on this during the work sessions, but just wanted to verify that the additional funding coming from the Fed, correct?
Correct.
That is not being used to expand the program, but to actually enable people already in the program to afford rising rents throughout Baltimore County.
That's
Correct?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am, that's all I wanted to verify with you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll second it.
Call the roll on
Mr. Ertel. Mr. Young.
Aye.
Mr. Patoka.
Aye.
Mr. Jones.
Aye.
Mr. Marks.
Aye.
Mr. Crandall.
Aye.
5926 raised.
I did.
Next bill is 6026, Mr. Secretary.
Yes, sir. The next bill is also from the current expense budget. The bill is titled the acronym ENOUGH, ENOUGH.
No, Mr. Richardson testified at our last work session. Mr. Mark Brewster is here from the department if there's any questions. If not, is there a motion to approve Bill 6026?
I'll move it.
There a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Oh, good. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Bill 6026.
Mr. Ertel. Mr. Patoka.
Aye.
Mr. Jones.
Aye.
Mr. Marks.
Aye.
Mr. Crandall.
Aye.
Mr. Young.
Aye.
6026 is passed.
Next, Mr. Chairman, is Bill 61-26, County Charter Board of Recreation and Parks.
Amendments here. Mr. Croner testified at the work session. Anybody have questions or comments from Mr. Croner at this point? Secretary, did you want to read the amendments?
Certainly. The First Amendment is offered by the Office of the County Executive. This would insert one more function and would state that that part of the Rec and Parks Board would also advise the Director of Recreation and Parks on matters related to recreation, nature, open space, arts, and culture. In addition, a second part of that amendment would also expand the statement on page 3, line 20, that currently says residents and organizations, and would substitute instead residents, nature and recreation councils, and external stakeholders.
Okay. Are there any questions about the amendments? Or that amendment specifically? Is there a motion to approve the amendment to Bill 6126?
I'll move it.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on the amendment to Bill 6126.
Mr. Ertel?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Young?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Okay, the amendment passes, and I know there's a second amendment as well.
Yes, there is one more amendment that is sponsored by the chairman or offered by the chairman, and this amendment would strike the language related to a board member being limited to no more than 2 consecutive terms. It would take that out.
Okay. Are there any questions about the amendment?
I'll move it.
I'll second it. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on the amendment.
Mr. Ertel?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Young?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Okay, amendment passes. Is there a motion, are there any comments or questions from the members on the Bill 6126 as amended?
I do have one question.
Yes, Councilman Patoka?
I should have addressed this earlier, but are the terms staggered currently? Do we know, or somebody can answer that?
I don't know.
Is Brian, Mr. Shepherd's here.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shepherd. Is there a motion to approve Bill 6126 as amended?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Bill 6126 as amended, please. Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, Bill 6126 as amended is passed. And I think this one goes on to the voters, is that correct? Great, so we're sending it off to the voters. All right, and next we have Bill 6226. Councilman Patoka, did you?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And you and I have discussed this today, and so I'm going to ask that my colleagues support an extension of this bill.
Okay. And I know we have to motion for that, an extension? All right, so Councilman Patoka, is that a motion?
Yeah, I'll motion to extend.
All right, and is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, second from Councilman Jones. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on extending the bill.
Mr. Ertel?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Young?
Aye.
Okay, the Bill 6226 will be extended. Thank you, Councilman Patoka. And next up, we have Bill 6326. This is sponsored by all council members. Mr. Secretary?
Yes, certainly. This is entitled Employees Retirement System, County Council Members Repeal of Bill 4024, Clarification on Effective Date of Repeal.
Okay, are there any questions or comments from the members on 6326? Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
I'll second it. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Bill 6326.
Mr. Ertel,
Aye.
Mr. Young,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka,
Aye.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
Mr. Marks,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall.
Aye.
Okay, Bill 6326 is passed. We will now consider all fiscal matters. Extensive testimony was taken at the council's work session on May 26th. The witnesses who testified at the work session are available to restate their testimony if needed. If a council member has questions regarding a particular matter, that item will be discussed as a separate matter. I will now call upon the secretary to read the cover letter for fiscal matters 1 through 4 and 6 through 24.
Yes, sir.
Fiscal matter 5 was withdrawn prior to the meeting.
Yes, thank you. Fiscal matter 1 is a contract with United Rentals Incorporated. Fiscal matter 2 is a budget appropriation transfer through the police department or with the police department. Fiscal matter 3 is a budget appropriation transfer or BAT with the state's attorney's office. Fiscal matter 4 is a BAT with the Baltimore County Public Schools. Fiscal matter 6 is a contract with Project Chesapeake LLC. Fiscal matter 7 is a contract with Tritech Systems Incorporated. Fiscal matter 8 is 3 contracts for the reviews of landscape and lighting plans. Fiscal matter 9 is a contract with Creative Information Technology Incorporated. Fiscal matter 10 is an amendment to contract with Workday. Fiscal matter 11 is a contract with Iron Mountain Incorporated. Fiscal matter 12 is a purchase order with Progility Incorporated. Fiscal matter 13 is a contract with Johnson Controls Incorporated. Fiscal matter 14 is 4 contracts for on-call mechanical and electrical engineering services. Fiscal matter 15 is 2 contracts for installation of reflective pavement markings. Fiscal matter 16 is a contract with ACV Environmental Services Incorporated. Fiscal matter 17 is a BAT with Health and Human Services. Fiscal matter 18 is a contract with CBE Acquisition LLC, doing business as Sharps Medical Waste Services. Fiscal matter 19 is a contract with Flourishing Minds Wellness Center LLC. Fiscal matter 20 is a contract with the affiliated Sante Group. Fiscal matter 21 is also a contract with the affiliated Sante Group. Fiscal matter 22 is a contract with Hope Health Systems Incorporated. Fiscal matter 23 is a contract with PNC Bank National Association. And finally, fiscal matter 24 is a change order with Badong Liu.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Secretary. Do you need some water after that?
No, sir.
It was a long one.
Ms. Irwin offered. Thank you. That might be a record.
Are there any questions or comments from the members on any of those fiscal items? Is there a motion to approve fiscal matters 1 through 4 and 6 through 24?
Motion to approve fiscal matters 1 through 4 and 6 through 24.
Okay.
Second?
Do we need to read them again just to make sure we're clear? Okay,
It's a
Mr.
pleasure.
Secretary, please call the
Your
roll.
pleasure.
Please call the roll on fiscal matters 1 through 4 and 6 through 24.
Mr. Ertel,
Aye.
Mr. Young,
Aye.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
Mr. Marks, Mr. Crandall,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka.
Aye.
Okay, fiscal matters 1 through 4 and 6 through 24 are approved. We will now consider the remainder of the miscellaneous business items. Mr. Secretary, first item, please.
First item, Mr. Chairman and members of the council, is Resolution 16-26. This resolution is sponsored by Councilman Jones and seeks council approval of the continued review of the Planned Unit of Development, or PUD, known as Harmony Garden.
Go ahead, Councilman Jones.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I'm going to ask that we postpone this until the next meeting.
Okay. Is there a motion to extend? You're
Yes.
motioning to extend. I'll second it. Any questions or comments from the members before we vote? Mr. Secretary, please call the vote on Resolution 1626.
Mr. Ertel,
Aye.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
Mr. Marks,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall,
Aye.
Mr. Young,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka.
Aye.
Okay, we will extend Resolution 1626. Next resolution, Mr. Boswick.
Next, Mr. Chairman, is Resolution 17-26. This seeks council approval for the authorization of an expenditure of non-local funds through the Baltimore County Board of Education.
And I know Mr. Tantliff is here. Are there any questions from the members for him before we motion? Is there a motion to approve Resolution 1726?
I'll move it.
I'll second it. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Resolution 1726.
Mr. Ertel,
Aye.
Mr. Marks,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall,
Aye.
Mr. Young,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka,
Aye.
Mr. Jones.
Aye.
Okay, Resolution 1626 is passed. Mr. Secretary, is that all?
We do have one more item of business, Mr. Chairman.
Can't imagine what that
Or
is.
well, that is all the council business that is on the agenda.
So, Mr. Secretary, is my understanding, we have this matter of a swearing in of a new council, a county council person who's here,
Yes, sir. we do.
Mr. Nino Mangione.
Yes,
So please proceed.
yes, sir. Mr. Chairman and members of the council and anyone out there in TV land, following the resignation of Councilman Catch, that was, I believe, effective May the 7th of this year, the District 3 council seat on the county council became vacant. The charter requires that the central committee representing the political party to which the departing member belonged make the selection of the council member that would take that seat, and that central committee would submit that name who is selected to the county executive for appointment. The vacancy, according to the charter, would need to be filled within 30 days. That would have been June the 6th of this year. It is my understanding that the Republican Central Committee held meetings on Saturday, May the 30th, that they had interviews and public input, and they selected delegate, the Honorable Nino Mangione, who represents that area, to continue the seat in District 3 through the election in November. The county executive received that letter from the Central Committee, and the county executive this morning forwarded the appointment letter to the county council for action, for further action. We are, with all of that happening, we are here and ready to have Mr. Mangione sworn in as the next council member for the 3rd Councilmanic District. And I believe Julie Enzer, the clerk of the court, is also here. So if Mr. Mangione and Ms. Ensor could come to the front, we will proceed.
This has never happened. Right?
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, and please state your full name, do swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland and support the Constitution and laws thereof, and that I will, to the best of my skill and judgment, diligently and faithfully, without partiality or prejudice, execute the office of County Council Member for Councilmanic District 3 for Baltimore County, according to the Constitution and laws of this state. Congratulations. So welcome.
Oh, okay, great. You're live. I'll just be very brief. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's a great honor to be here, to have the opportunity to serve with you gentlemen. And it just kind of hits you when you realize, when you get up here, that, you know, I was born right here in Baltimore County. I was raised right here in Baltimore County. I've lived and spent my entire life right here in Baltimore County, whether it's going to Calvert Hall right down the street, Towson University. We could throw a baseball too from here. So I spent my whole life here. I look forward to the challenge to represent the people of our district, District 3. And again, an honor to serve with you all. And we've already been in touch with some of the community leaders and just very excited to hit the ground running and do the best we can for the people of Baltimore County. So thank you all for having me, and thank you for those who came tonight.
Thank you, sir. Welcome aboard. I would say briefly, Councilman Mangione, Councilman Marks told me this when I came on board, and I took it with a grain of salt, but he was absolutely on the mark. He told me, he said, you know, you're going to do well as a council person, but you're going to be amazed at the amount of things that end up on your plate. And if that, you know, it couldn't have been, it was right on the money. The amount of things that we deal with, from constituents, from business leaders, from you name it, we deal with a lot of things. And at the county level, there's no, you know, we can't punt it to anybody else. It has to be dealt with at the county, at the local level. So welcome aboard, and you know, you'll see that we do a lot of great work here at this level, and I know you served some years at the state. It's a little different here, but it's similar as well. And I think we have a great group of council people. We don't always agree, but most of the time we do. And we've had it's been a very bipartisan experience. So I know some of my other colleagues might want to say a few words. I'm really close to this mic.
Yes.
Councilman Jones.
Yes, congratulations. Just want to congratulate you and welcome you aboard. Look forward to working with you.
Any others? Councilman Crandall?
Sure. So Nino, I don't know if you'll remember this, but I think one of the first times that we met, you took the time, and I think that we were the only two elected officials there. I think Councilman Young wanted to be there but couldn't. And that was at the showing of the movie about the documentary about PTSD. And you were there, and obviously you cared about the topic, and that showed me a lot about you. That not only were you in attendance, but as I said, we gained a real. If you're like me, I think we gained a real education that evening about what our first responders may go through. So that showed me a lot about you. So thank you for serving. Welcome aboard.
Councilman Patoka? And I know Councilman Marks wanted.
Councilman Mangione, I just want to congratulate you for joining this governing body. I know you've had experience of being on larger governing bodies, and here at the local level, we tend to get along very well. My experience I'll share is the chart. I'll just share just one or two sentences. Is the county charter defines specific roles for the county council, and it's limited. Our constituents, however, think we might have much broader roles, and sometimes it's hard to explain that we have a limited role in budget. We have broad land use authority. We review contracts and review budgets, but sometimes when you're out in the field, and you know this, you're a veteran of being out in community meetings, that the expectation is that your authority is that of, similar to the county executive, and sometimes we have to explain to our constituents that we're limited. But congratulations and welcome aboard.
Thank you, Councilman Patoka. Councilman Marks?
Thank you, Councilman. Welcome. I think your district and the county will benefit from your energy, your intelligence, also your connections to the state legislature. I think we benefit from having people with experience in state government. I wish you the best. I think you'll hit the ground running. Thank you.
Yes, Councilman Young.
I just want to take an opportunity to welcome you aboard. I think the first time we met, you were coming to the legislature and I was chairing the Baltimore County delegation. Pleasure to sit next to you now and look forward to working with you. You bring a wealth of experience just being present in the legislature for the time that you were there. We'll serve you well here and looking forward to see what we can get done together. Thanks.
Absolutely. Okay, Mr. Secretary. With that, is there any further business to come before the council?
There is no further business, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, meeting is adjourned. As is customary, anyone who is registered to speak online prior to the meeting is allowed 3 minutes to speak. Ms. Belcastro, do we have any speakers this evening?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Our first speaker is Anita Bass. Ms. Bass, you are on as hold on one moment, Mr. Chair.
He's down there.
For some reason. Ms. Bass, you may unmute yourself and begin your testimony when you're ready.
Okay, you can hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Thank you. My name is Anita Bass, and I am local president for Union Local 4538. And I'm here to say a thank you to Councilman Young and Councilman Patoka for coming to the Apple rally and speaking in support of our workers there. I'm also, I also oversee the library and the Apple workers. But I wanted to just let you know I was very happy that you all showed up and were there for the rally. And I thank you very much for that. That's all.
Thank you, Ms. Bass. We appreciate it. Ms. Belcastro was.
Our next speaker is Scott Pappas. Mr. Pappas, you're on as a panelist. You may unmute yourself and begin your testimony when you're ready.
On. Yeah, can you sound off? I don't know how to work this.
You're live.
We can hear you, Mr. Pappas.
So the first thing I want to do is congratulate Nick. Hope he does a great job up there in the third. Secondly, I want to thank whoever it was that paved German Hill Road, whether it was any influence from you guys up on that bench or if it was just an agency thing. I talked to some of the road me that when When BG&E's tearing up these roads from now on, they're not going to be just doing that 6-foot wide patch down the center. They're going to be paving the entire road, which is a huge benefit to everybody in my district and all the other districts. And lastly, I want to thank you. Appeal that law. I think it's a star on your lapel, and that's all I got to say tonight. Thank you again.
Thank you, Mr. Pappas. We appreciate you being here. Ms. Belcastro, next speaker.
Certainly, Mr. Chair. Our next speaker, who is here in person, is Fred Homan, followed by our final speaker this evening, who is also here in person, Jeffrey Budnitz.
Mr. Homan, how are you, sir?
Gentlemen, I'd like to use the Murray case just for a few minutes to talk about the fact that the Murray case was decided about a month after the UMBC poll was released. I'm sure you all remember seeing that. 63% of the public, right, never or only sometimes trust their local government. Any of you seen that? Bothered to read it? Really? None of you? Wow. The UMBC poll was at the end of April. They do it annually. Right? And the reason that I bring it up is because if you take a really good look at Murray and some of the other things that are happening at the same time, you really have to understand, you really come to understand exactly why the public feels that way. I mean, let's take a look at Murray for just a second and then transition over. In the Murray case, the real developments took place after you all approved interim CE Klausmeyer to be the interim CE. Right? And only a few months after that, two things happened at the same time. She moved to get rid of IG Madigan, and she also moved to pay Pat Marion to seal the file. So a question that I had for you is, when you spoke up in behalf of the IG, some of you, the interim CE completely blew you off. She ignored you. She didn't do anything. It makes me wonder, did any of you in the vetting process, and I know you vetted her because you asked everybody if they'd run for county executive or not. Did anybody ask her if she supported the IG? None of you? I mean, after the Blue Ribbon Commission and after Ochesky won in November and spent 2 months here without reappointing Madigan, knowing that her term was coming to an end, you never thought to ask the interim county executive if she was going to support the IG? Wow. Which brings me to, you know, I mean, you have to wonder what constituents would think about that. Which brings me to another thing that's happening right now, and that is something I know you know about, which is the $6.6 million being spent on Rocky Point Golf Course, the clubhouse. The grant agreement done in August of 24, never presented to the council. No reference in any budget documents to anything related to a golf course. They're making payments. They admitted to making payments to David Plymire during fiscal 26 out of a project called Revenue Authority Parking Garage. A golf course, clubhouse. Even though there's a ground lease with the Revenue Authority that dates back to 1995 when Dutch Rupersberger moved it to the Revenue Authority so that golf could pay for itself, it specifically says that county funds cannot be used on golf courses.
Mr. Homan.
I know you know this, Mr. Crandall. I know you're aware of it. And I know you've educated them because Mr. Ortel last year did a great job in the budget process talking about the county executive's unilateral action and that you would kind of cut to $6.6 million, and you did. And you did. But the administration decided they were going to make payments anyway. Now, how do you explain to the public that checks and balance, separation of powers exists in this county when that kind of thing can happen. When you have Murray on the one hand and the council says, we really think this file should be open, and the administration says, until they have no choice. And even now, I still don't have PIA documents. I'm sure Mr. Benjamin's working really hard on getting me those, right? But, but seriously, how does a taxpayer think separation of powers works in this county? When a county executive can hear you make that statement in a budget message and blow it off. Now, I know for a fact that the Revenue Authority has submitted you bills, and because the county has said so, I know for a fact that some of those bills have been paid. Maybe they've all been paid. I filed the PIA on that too, and I don't know the answer to that yet either. But seriously, you don't think that you should be able to explain to taxpayers in an election year? You can't explain to people how separation of powers, checks and balances is working in this county right now?
Okay, Mr. Homan, you way beyond your 3 minutes.
One more thing, and I'll leave.
And I'll give you one more thing. You approved under your reign money to the Sportsplex to the Revenue
You're
Authority.
damn right I did. And it had
Okay, well,
to do with the golf courses, sir, and I'm glad you brought it up. For the same reason that Mr. Benjamin telling people that the Revenue Authority Board could possibly act in reliance when they know there's a ground lease that says they're not supposed to take taxpayer funds. How do you act in reliance when you have an agreement that allows you to run the courses that says you can't use taxpayer funds? And how in the world is an ice rink that was negotiated by George Hale, not Ken Mills, George Hale? How in the world is that related when you have a ground lease with a golf course is saying that money can't be used?
We cut the money, and that's what we can do.
No, you sound like Mr. Patoka.
Okay.
Mr. Patoka said, Mr. Patoka says taxpayers have too high an expectations. And I understand to an extent what he means.
This is really not an interactive session. You've gone well beyond your time, Mr. Chair, and I'd ask that you ask Mr. Homan to please stop.
Well, this is more democracy in action, huh?
Well, Mr. Homan, you know that we have a 3-minute time limit.
We do.
You've sat through these for 20 years, and you always come up continuing to speak beyond your 3 minutes. And I gave you another 2 minutes, and we're done.
So sir, I'll leave voluntarily. You can ask the police officer to come get me if you like. But what I would like for everybody to take cognizance of is you're all refusing to respond.
I don't know that we're refusing to respond.
Yes, you are.
Okay, well, that's your opinion.
No, it's anybody hear a response from them, please? Tell me if you do.
Okay, you can. I think next time you come in, we're going to have some bullet points on some of the questionable things that were done while you were around. Okay. Yes. I had nothing to do with any of that. Okay. Now, thank you. Have a great night.
Treegate.
Okay, Ms. Belcastro, next speaker, please.
Our final speaker this evening is Jeffrey Budnitz, who is here in person.
Green on. Okay. Good evening, Councilman Mangione.
Oh, it's good to see you.
Good to see you. Would like to welcome you. I had the pleasure of meeting Nick and Mary, and I was involved in Loyola for a number of years. And his grandparents were very gracious and kind to the school, and many people have benefited that. So they've always had a soft spot in my heart. So I'm here to thank the council. You okay with that? I know, put your seatbelts on. I'm thanking you relative to the charter amendment for Rec and Parks. The board, based on my 26 years of volunteering, has been important. It's never been more important in the last couple of years. And I think the thoughtful amendments that you made to that charter amendment knocked it out of the park, and I give it 100% support. So I just wanted to say thank you. Any questions or?
Any questions from the member? Thank you, Mr. Bowden.
Have a great night.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jeff.
All right, I think we're officially adjourned, and thank you, everyone, for coming. Be safe going home.